Welcome to this very exciting episode of Entrepreneurs Lounge, the show that highlights success stories of young Kenyan entrepreneurs under the age of 40 who are making it amid several challenges. We're filming at the amazing Dotage Exclusive Furniture, your one-stop shop for all furniture needs. Joining me today is a lady who's here to inspire. Started off with only 2,000 shillings and a corner table at a Christian NGO, and later grew to own her own shop, Anne's Curio. Welcome, Varti Anne.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me your story.
My name is Anne. I'm the founder of Anne's Curio Shop, which was founded in 2014. And I started only with 2,000 bob. And I'm excited about the journey.
Okay. I want to hear about this 2,000 bob, because the general perception is 2,000 bob, that's $20. How much can that do for you? So to hear that you started with 2,000 to where you are today, what's your journey? What's your story?
A friend had given me 2,000 bob for my birthday. It was my birthday. And at the time I was a volunteer with a Christian NGO. So I talked to my mentor about it. I told her I had been given this money, and because the organization that I was volunteering with at the time was going through financial crisis. It's an organization that deals with children in the slums. So I said I want to donate my money for the kids for food. And so my mentor said, instead of giving this money, because you will do it one time, why don't you start a small business whereby maybe after the business has grown, you can be giving the organization something small at the end of the month. And so I was like, what can I do with 2,000 bob? I don't know what business would be that. And so she told me there's an Indian shop at Hilton where they sell African souvenirs and their prices are not bad. Why don't you go pick a few stuff? And so I was like, wow, that's a good idea. And so I started off with a few bracelets.
So how then did it work? You bought the bracelets. Tell us, how did this happen? Because 2,000 shillings, you've used it all to buy bracelets. Talk about the costs that go into running a business. How did you make this work? And this is to inspire someone out there who maybe has 1,000 shillings, 1,200. What are the steps they need to follow?
You just need to go out there and be courageous of what you have passion about. And so I went and took the bracelets, bought them, and came and placed them on the corner of the table in a dining table. And because she was working in a German organization, it's a community, and so she would invite foreigners every evening for coffee. And so when they come over for coffee, they would be like, oh wow, this is nice, and they would buy it. So yeah, that's how I started. And so the profits, I put them together, and eventually the business grew.
Let's talk about the profits. Because you started this business while you were in school, you didn't have to pay rent. So talk to me, when did you finally start to make profits? When did the money finally start to come in? And when did that corner table in a German Christian NGO finally turn into Anne's Curio Shop?
It was a bit of a challenge in the beginning because it was a small community and not so many people knew about it. So the profits came in slowly by slowly, and so I put them together for almost about 8 months in order to be able to purchase more merchandise of African souvenirs. And so yeah, that's how it all ended up.
So you started this while you were in school, opened Anne's Curio Shop right after you finished school. Employment. Have you even ever tried this out? What's your general perception when it comes to employment?
I think for me, I wouldn't go for employment for employment, because it doesn't give me the freedom to be who I want to be. When I self-employ myself, it gives me the aspect of being who I want to be. I can do other things. I can be able to visit other people and because for me, I'm more of a person-oriented person, a people's-oriented person, whereby I can be able to check up on other people and do other side jobs that I want to. But when I am into full employment, that doesn't give me the freedom to do that, and also to explore my talents. Yes.
You started off really young. You started off with really little capital. So what were the challenges? Would you say it was a smooth journey? Would you say, oh, everything just fell into place, the table, people showed up, people bought the things, and here I am today, I've made it. What have been the challenges? you've had to endure as a young entrepreneur, as an entrepreneur with almost nothing? What have just been the biggest obstacles?
The biggest obstacle is that being a single lady and also young at the business is that there are also other people who have had these businesses for long, and they've been known and they're out there in the big market. So for me to fit into that competition without the knowledge or about entrepreneurship was really challenging. And so so I had to just go out there and make it out. Yeah.
So maybe to just understand your business, Anne's Curious Shop, what exactly is your business about?
My business is more about African culture and designing African stuff in order to promote the African culture. And being more artistic and authentic about the African culture, because it's one area that is dying off. And so for me, for the love of art and for the love of African culture, I want to keep that going, and also to let the new generation embrace their culture and know where they're coming from. Yeah, because there's a beautiful story about every other African culture.
And actually, at the moment of late, we're seeing so many people starting to embrace the African culture. We're seeing so much more African attire. You know, we're seeing movies being inspired by the African theme. How do you feel that this fits into how does this promote your business overall?
It promotes my business because in a way that makes African culture come out in a way that is unique. So it promotes my business. How would I say? For lack of a better word, I would say it promotes my business to let the young people embrace their culture, and to keep it going.
Still on promotion, a lot of people who are in business will tell you how important advertising is when it comes to any business, whether online, whether physical, whether services, regardless of what you're dealing with. It's very, very important to put your product out there. What's your take on advertising, and how, as Anne's Curious Shop, do you leverage? What do you do to put your product, to put your brand out there?
It is a challenge, of course, to keep to advertise, because at the end of the day, there's someone also who is being your competitor, and so you never know, they just take your idea and boom, you're out of the market. However, advertising is very key because it opens the market for you, and also it makes people realize there's something out there. For me, it is important to advertise, because then if you're not advertising, then you're not exploring. So
what do you do? Social media?
Yes, mostly. Mostly I do social media. I have a Facebook page, and I'm currently working on a website, and also through WhatsApp and other social medias.
So a lot of times you'll see entrepreneurs who go into business, if it works for them, if you have a business mind, then you'll want to try out something else. A lot of entrepreneurs are very, very aggressive. So Anne's Curious Shop, is there anything else you're doing? Like, have you diversified into anything else, and what is it?
Like I said, being out of employment gives me the time to explore what I like, and being who I am, just me personally, being Anne and what I love. At the moment, I'm doing tours and safaris company. It's called Wonder Tours and Safaris, and it's one business that is really connected to even African culture, because we are out there to show people that there is beautiful places in Kenya, there's beautiful places in Africa, and so at the end of the day, it gives me to do what I love doing: traveling, being exploring, being adventurous, and also I'm into designing cards. I do some of my bracelets. I design them by myself, and also other side hustles.
With 2,000 shillings, Anne Vati managed to grow her business from having no premises to having a full-blown shop, Anne's Curious Shop, to this shop finally later paying for her master's. Coming up next. So tours and travel, curios, two totally different fields. How does it work? How do you make it work?
Basically, tours and safaris is something that you can do online. you just need to do your research in terms of where can we travel. These days it's like you can just call a certain hotel and book for a client and have them probably picked up through just technology, through mobile, through communication. Yeah, so it's easy. Mostly I do it online because I'm not staged at a particular place. Yes.
So you started out, again, I'll keep referring to the 2,000 shillings because that's really amazing to me. Because a lot of people make up excuses. They'll say, oh no, I don't have enough. I really want to do this, but I only have 5,000 shillings, and 5,000 to them seems so little. And then here we are with you sitting down here. You have a full-blown shop. You did it with 2,000 shillings. My question then is, what has been your greatest achievement on this entrepreneurship journey from when you started at that corner table to now going into the tour and travel business to where you are today?
My greatest achievement has been I've been able to pay for my school fees. I'm currently pursuing my master's in project management, and my business has been able to pay that for me until now, and so that has been my greatest achievement. And then also I've been able to employ one lady from the slums. She's a single mother of one, and so for me to see her being able to provide for her daughter is amazing, because you're giving her dignity, having in mind the challenges that people are going out there looking for jobs, especially the young people going out, and also the issues of depression coming up. So for me, I feel I've been able to give that one person who was underprivileged to get a job and to be able to provide for her kid, and also to live a good life.
You're really doing amazing things, Anne. So now we'll take a quick break, and I'll be back with my second entrepreneur who will blow your mind, because he too is in a rather not very usual field like Anne. So we'll take a quick break, don't go anywhere. And just to remind you, we're filming at Dotage Exclusive Furniture, the one-stop shop for all your furniture needs. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, if you're a fitness buff, you definitely know my next entrepreneur, CEO and founder of Fit Farm Gym. Started out and studied to be an HR specialist, but somehow ended up on this fitness journey. We'll let him tell you his story. Welcome, Abdul Hakim Bashir.
My pleasure.
Tell me about your journey.
My name's Abdul Hakim Bashir, owner, founder of Fit Farm Gym. It has not been easy. Actually, what has kept me going is the passion for the field. I started Fit Farm about 5 months ago. Yeah, it's relatively new, and I'm quite happy with the response I got. And it's something that many guys are looking forward to, and I'm quite happy.
Now tell me about Fit Farm. You started it 5 months ago. How did this idea come to you? How did you end up getting into the fitness industry? Considering, you know, the perception, usually we don't see a lot of Kenyans, a lot of, you know, people in the region like being very, very heavy on fitness and health.
I started training 6 years ago. I love the game. I love doing anything related to fitness. How I started Fit Farm, this one time I used to train in a gym, and I was quite impressed with the equipment that are there. So it's owned by a white guy who wanted to migrate to Netherlands. So I happened to approach him and told him that can we do business together, and because he wanted to sell the equipment. So that's how Fit Farm came to be, and where I have taken to is a whole totally different level from where the first owner has taken to. So Fit Farm came as a result of, you know, just the passion.
So is this something you had been planning to one day own a health and fitness gym? Because I'm sure like it didn't happen overnight where you found someone who was leaving, and also it's quite expensive to buy equipment. What was the preparation? Did you have something saved up? How did you go into owning this gym?
First of all, one day I was looking forward to being a gym owner. Not as big as the one I have, but at least, as you said, it's quite involving and expensive. I was lucky I got a good deal out of that, and through my little savings, borrowed some small money from my family. Then I managed to put Fit Farm where it is right now. The biggest, I can't say challenge or setback is as it is quite heavy, it's expensive to start such venture, especially considering our business environment. So I think passion plus the small saving has led to Fit Farm.
But then I have to ask, what makes you stand out? Because it's a saturated market. There's so many gyms all over the place, all offering different price packages. What makes Fit Farm stand out? What do you do differently? Because the fact is, it is on the mouths of so many young people in Kenya, not even young people. A lot of people do know the brand Fit Farm. So what makes you stand out?
First of all, fitness is about caring. It's like, sitting down with your client and understanding their needs, what they want to do, or everyone has a goal. So what actually makes Fit Farm stand is the care and the closeness we give our client, one-on-one relationship with the trainers, nutritionists, and the general aspect of the gym. So that has made many clients to come to our gym because we love them. We welcome them, and we are with them throughout their journey. Yeah.
Now, obviously, away from the care and the personal touch, you're also very heavy on social media. Especially I'll talk about Instagram. So in your view, what role does advertising play in running a business, and how do you take advantage of that?
I think advertising is the core for any business to thrive, and you have to let know, people what you offer, what you have. And I've capitalized on that. I have done quite advertising within that area, and in social media, Facebook, Instagram, we are always alive. We are present, we reply your text, we engage the client, and by the time the client is coming to our place, we know who or she is and what they want. Yeah. So advertising plays a big role in my business.
Now let's talk about the money. We have to talk about the money because that's why you went into this business, right? Is it worth it? Have you made your first profit? How does it look?
Okay, I haven't made my first profit, but I'm quite happy with where I am, because first of all, you have to love what you do. If there's no love in business, then you won't sustain. That is a bottom line that I think maybe if it is not written in a book, I should have. I need to write. Then the second thing is, if the business can sustain itself in terms of the utilities, the salary, the rent, then I think the rest will follow much later.
So, Mike, when we started out, you said it hasn't been easy. I want you to explain to me, what does that mean? Talk to me about this journey. How difficult is it? Ingrid, I'm trying to start up a gym. What should I expect? What should I prepare for? How difficult is this journey of just being an entrepreneur?
First of all, as you have said, it is a huge investment. And in gym, you don't have to limit space. So getting a bigger space is a big challenge for me. And the business environment, the rent is too high, especially for such bigger space within the location that the business is. Secondly is the regulations that many entrepreneurs go through in this country. There are a lot of certifications for you before even you start a business. You haven't made your first shilling or your first profit, but there are a lot of certifications that you need to fulfill. So it's not easy for a young entrepreneur who probably don't have that capital, or he has the idea, but you know, there are those limitations here and there.
If you were asked to give advice across the board, maybe I'm not trying to go into fitness, but just as a business person who's trying to venture into doing their own thing, what are the top 2 things someone should consider before they even start out?
First of all, you need to consider your niche market. The second, you need to consider the laws of the country, because without that, I don't think those guys will let you live. Yeah, so that has to be, if it is business permit, if it is KRA, if it is NHIF, it is NSSF, it has to be there, because those guys will come and mess you up. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hakeem. We'll now take a quick break and we'll be back with Quick Fire. Don't go anywhere. Dream bigger. You should have had a much grander plan going into this. How would you say that has limited you?
It has limited in terms of client expectations. You know, a client comes in and expects you to have every kind of sport, like for the young, the old, the sick, you know, all those incorporated in one space.
Do you feel like there's a way in which this can be fixed going forward? Then what's the long-term plan?
The long term is I want to take fitness into a different whole level, whereby it's like a one-stop shop, like, you understand, and you get in and you can access anything you want in terms of sport, because gym is not all about bodybuilding. It's about, you know, cross fitness, it's about cutting, it's about karate, taekwondo, and all those things. I would love to have it in one place.
And I feel like yours has been pretty straightforward. You had your 2,000 shillings, someone gave you a business idea, you are one of those few very lucky entrepreneurs. It worked right from the get-go. Would you say you're content, or would you change anything?
I don't feel I'm content where I am right now. I would want to open a market where, especially the young women in the slums, where they can come with their creativity, do their creativity there, and just sell it and find a market for them out there. Yeah.
So you wish like you could do a lot more with, so do you have a plan to maybe change this? How are you planning on achieving what you want to do right now?
I'm planning on bringing more partners on board, people with more experience in terms of training the young people and nurturing their talents. Yeah, because when they get trained and they have someone who is following up on their talents and showing them that can do this, and their talents can pay them off, then I think they would be more excited to show what they have out there. Because I think young people have a lot of talents, but they have not been exposed yet because of maybe lack of finances or lack of opportunities.
Now, when you think of employment, you know you're going to do an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5. Like the hours are cast in stone and you're working for another person. When you speak to entrepreneurs, some will even tell you have to work around the clock, 24 hours. How does that affect your work-life balance? How does that affect, like, does that fully consume you? Do you have more time to do other things? How does that entrepreneurship journey affect you as an individual and the other things you have to do outside of your business? I'll start with you.
With proper planning, you're able to meet your expectations for your clients, and you're able to also strike a balance in your social life. However, it can be a bit straining when a client is expecting you to deliver something to them, and probably they're like, I won't be there tomorrow. You're like, I can deliver tomorrow also. And then if you don't deliver at the end of the day, you might lose this client. So you have to go out there and meet their expectations. So it is a bit challenging, but at the end of the day, it is fulfilling because that's your field. Yeah, and with passion, I think it doesn't feel so straining. Yeah.
Hakeem, what's your take on entrepreneurship and just like balancing your personal life?
I think for me, I believe in empowering my team. Have able guys who are in charge of every division. And with that empowerment, everyone knows what he or she needs to do, and that helps me in balancing my social life. Yeah.
So, And 4 years, this is how much you've achieved. What's your 10-year plan? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I see myself 10 years from now owning other branches. That's my vision. I want to open more branches in this country, and if possibly outside this country, so that the aspect of African culture can continue, because I think we are losing it. The new generation is losing it, and it's something that I have passion for it, so I want to see it in 10 years. Still, we are still talking about the African culture. Yeah, so I want to see more branches open there and more young people getting employment. Yeah.
I'm sure your vision, your dream is different. You already have more than one branch. What's Hakim's 10-year plan for Fit Farm, for Hakim? Just where do you want to see yourself in 10 years?
I think I want to make sure people accept fitness. And in doing that, I want to also nurture, young talent, the young bodybuilders, the next boxer, the next, taekwondo. I'm more one way. I've started already. I'm thinking, instead of looking for many branches and opening, it's good to empower the young talent and impact on someone's life. Yeah. So long term, I'm thinking of bringing fitness closer to everyone.
I know there are a lot of young people out there who, they just have, right now all they have is a dream, all they have is a vision, and then they're looking at you people. You've made it, you've persevered, you're where you are. But of course, we've had this conversation already. It hasn't been rosy. What would you say has been the greatest business mistake? That mistake you made that you even felt like, maybe, how am I going to come back from this? Hakim?
Kind of tricky, but I haven't, let's say, one way or another, it's about balancing what is good for the business, and for me, what is good for the client, because I deal with client, and your client thinks the same way as you think. So I keep on adapting every day based on their taste and preferences. Yeah.
And biggest mistake, if you have any, that is?
Yeah, of course mistakes have happened, and one of my biggest mistakes is not being able to complete one part and giving it my best. So I'm like, oh yeah, I love traveling, let me start this. I love pedicure, let me start this. So at the end of the day, you find my attention is so divided. So that's a great mistake. So if you're focusing on doing say travels and tours, just focus on it, and when it's grown and you're sure that it is very stable, then you can move on to something else.
So don't spread yourself out too much just because don't want to get this, because you might end up losing it all.
Yes.
Okay, finally. We all have that one person who we look up to, who, has inspires you in a way, maybe through their business acumen, maybe through what they've managed to achieve, maybe through how they run their business, whatever it is. Who would you say has been your mentor, that person who has handheld you or just motivated you on this journey of entrepreneurship? Anne?
Personally, I would say Chris Kirubi. I've been following his entrepreneurship skills, and yes, and I love his attitude about entrepreneurship, and he's one person that I look up to in terms of entrepreneurship, and yeah, he inspires me so much.
Okay.
I will detour a bit. For me, it has to be my mom, yeah, because she started from zero, and she owns quite a number of petrol stations now.
Wow, that's very impressive.
So I look up to her.
So there you have it. That was Abdul Hakim, founder and CEO of Fit Farm Gym, and Anne Varty, the founder of Anne Curious Shop. Very young entrepreneurs, very different stories, but they've all managed to make it. Now you can be part of the discussion by following us and just having a conversation on our social media pages at Metropol TV KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I'm your host, Ingrid Nantege. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram on the handle at Inginanti. Now in this segment, will put our two entrepreneurs' knowledge of business trivia to the test. This is the quick fire round. Now, Anne, Hakim, in this round, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. There are really no rules. All you need to do is get the answers right. So in 5 seconds, I'll ask you a question. You'll answer it. First correct answer gets a point. At the end of the round, I'll crown a winner. No offense, Hakim, but I'm always rooting for the lady. And come on, you can do this. You can do this. Hakim, give it your best shot too. Usually these questions are bent towards the men. That's why I always root for the lady. Ready? The general money questions, do give it your best shot. Quick fire round starts now. Question number 1, 5 seconds. What is the richest football club in the world?
Real Madrid.
Good job, girl. Hakim, that one was yours. I handed it to you. Question number 2. Who is the world's richest sports personality? He's a boxer. That's a clue.
Mayweather?
Yes, a point to Hakim. So we're tied right now. Question number 3. What is the Silicon Valley?
Kinda a tech industry.
Right.
Yeah.
2 points to Hakim. Anne, come on. Question number 4. What is the world's hardest job? What is the world's hardest job?
Being a mom.
Yes, it's being a mom. 2 points to Anne, 2 points to Hakim. This is the tiebreaker question. The person who gets this right is the winner of this round and will have bragging rights to be our quickfire winner. Question number 5 and the deciding question. According to the World Airline Awards, what was the top airline of 2018? What was the top airline of 2018? It's an Asian airline. That's a clue.
Singapore Airlines.
A point to Anne. The ladies win this one. Hakim, better luck next time. You did well. So 3 points to Anne, 2 points to Hakim. Anne is our good sportsmanship. Anne is our quick fire winner. And that's all the show we had for you today. Our 2 entrepreneurs have taught us that with very little capital and with the right amount of passion, you can build that business that you've always wanted to. My name is Ingrid Nantege, and special thanks to Dotage Home Furniture for letting us film at their very exquisite premises. Do follow us on our social media at Metropol TV KE across the board.